Hi everyone, it's Simon from Reld. We're in Winterton, North Lincolnshire today, just ahead of the open day for a property. Just see it there. We're going to give you a little walkthrough of the grounds, a bit of an understanding of what's generally available in the area, and then go from there. So, one of the first things that we want to showcase is the closest bridleway to the property is literally there. It's on your doorstep, which is great. If you follow on that direction, you've got good riding generally through, plenty of farms in the area, and the farmers are mostly all right, to be fair. You can box up as well. We've got good access to the M18, good access to the A15, and we're not too far away from the Humber. Coming through, you can see got a good run through for any gear, equipment, boxes, trailers, wagons. We've got a working pen. There are a number of outbuildings with the property. This used to be a small holding before the owners took over, ready to renovate. We've got approximately, well, just over 5 acres, approaching 5.5. We've utilised the land well. Included in the sale is the property itself, the land, not the shepherd's huts, not this mobile home, but it is available by separate negotiation. But we are including the second one next to the property, so it's obviously somewhere to live in while you're renovating. Hay barn, hay store, tractor shed. And we've got storage area leading through. So Winterton is very close to Scunthorpe. This property in particular is close to Winterton village on the edge. In terms of facilities, there's plenty of shops in Winterton. Bars, cafes, schools. There are some equestrian facilities nearby. I think the closest one will probably be Safe Equestrian. Have a look at their page. As we go through, we've got a track system here, which has become increasingly common and more asked for, to be honest. I'm not aware of any track system liveries locally. It's not to say that they don't exist. It's currently being used for domestic purposes, so there isn't a business being run on site at the moment. We've got mains electric on site, mains water, septic tank drainage system, and oil. The tape fencing runs off batteries. I've got the turnout area. Sorry, well trained, closing up after myself. You might just be able to see the Humber Bridge there in the background. We can see that we've separated the paddocks out. It's on a gentle decline, so generally speaking, drains well. I know there's a lot of people in the country at the moment who are either snowed in, bogged in, and obviously a lot are frozen in, and it is freezing today. So if you come into the open day at 11, make sure you get wrapped up. Now this property has had a lot of attention. We've been unfortunate. There's been a couple of sales previously which have collapsed. No fault of the property, although the property does have some issues, which we'll come on to a little bit later. And the owners bought this a few years ago to renovate it. And at the time, the outside was definitely nothing like this. And obviously where they spent most of the time at the moment, you can see surrounded by agricultural fields, no near neighbours. Now we've got a guide price of 350,000. That does reflect the level of work to be done on the inside. We've only recently had some indication in terms of survey. It's one that will be difficult for traditional lending. There are some structural issues with the property. When we get inside, I'll show you where it becomes apparent. But ultimately, it's to do with the two cottages being built at two separate times, and then they've been tied in together, but have not been tied in together properly. So tie bars are quite likely, and if you say tie bars structural to a traditional lender, the odds are they're not going to want to do anything with it. There's also other issues inside the property which has sort of caused that split between the two. Unusually, we've got concrete floors to the first floor. Obviously that creates a weight distribution issue, and that'd probably be the first thing that you'd need to do in terms of rectifying the structural issue. Not sure how much you'll be able to hear me because it is windy as well. As you can see, the land's being used really well. The track system's nice and wide. We have had people who drive carriages as well, be here previously. And obviously the width is pretty good. Not too far away from here, we've got the village of Appleby. Beautiful little village. Stone built buildings, period, nice place to be. Market town Brig. Winteringham Fields isn't too far away from here either. Winteringham Fields, I believe, is still North Lincolnshire's only Michelin star restaurant. If you show and compete, I've already said that the M18 isn't too far away to get towards Doncaster. Obviously close to get into Hull that way. Grimsby's not too far away. And if you go in the Doncaster way, obviously that opens up York, Leeds, all within an hour and a bit. Again, the bridleway, lovely, clear and wide. The owners are relocating a considerable distance, and I know that a lot of you have difficult moves and concern about moving horses, machinery, equipment. So the good thing here is the owners are fully aware of just what it takes, and a conversation is quite easily had about timescales, flexibility on moving dates. This video should be going live to you all now, but if you've got any questions, obviously if you're coming to the open day, we can have a chat. But if you missed it, can't attend, just got general questions, then drop us a comment below. When I get back later, I'll go through them and see how we can help. So the property is a considerable size, and as you'd expect for any renovation really, there's always going to be things that you need to do, things that you like to do. And we've had conversations with other people who would consider taking it down and starting again and making a planning application for a replacement dwelling, which is certainly an option, but it would be a shame to adjust. Hello. It would be a shame to adjust what's already there, because you can see that beautiful exposed stone and it continues throughout, and it'd make a really nice cottage. We'll be here from 11 till about 3 o'clock today, so about 4 hours. You don't need an appointment, so you can just come down. The owners and I will be here today, so you'll be able to have a good chat with either of us. Scunthorpe is your closest place for your main amenities. The big Tesco's, Asda's, Morrison's. Large place, plenty going on. Leading to the inside now. Take you through. So the first room we're going to come to is the kitchen dining area, which is a really good size. Again, you can see that beautiful exposed stone. And you can see why you'd want to renovate if you could help it. Keep some of these original features. There's quite a few rooms off. Boiler room next to the old front door. The electric's in there. Ground floor bathroom. Obviously not in use. Another reception room. You can see the exposed beamwork. Again, the exposed stone. Staircase. Front door number 2. I'll go up that in a second. Next reception room. Again, nice, cosy cottage. Some good artwork there as well. And then you've got another ground floor bathroom, which you can see is big enough for a 4-piece suite. We'll go up staircase number 1, and this is where you'll see issues with some of the cracking and the damage. Room number 1. Great views out, you can see them from here. Big room, traditional features still in place. Room 2. Again, good size. Leading into room 3, and that's the view from the front. I'll cut across to the other part, which is where we've referenced some of the damage that we see and where the older part has not been toothed and tied in properly. And you can see concrete floors to the first floor. It's never a good idea. So there will be some supporting work to do, floor joists, as we said earlier, likely to have the tie bars. Now, that's one of the fundamental reasons why, in my opinion, traditional lending is going to be really difficult here. So as a general rule, you're not going to walk into your Halifax, your HSBC and get a product. But these days, there's all sorts of financial products available. Renovation finance could be a potential. Self-build finance if you put a planning application in for a replacement dwelling. Peer-to-peer lending is a massive one. So by peer-to-peer lending, we mean things like private finance, borrowing from somebody you know, having a security charge, similar to having a mortgage, but you own individual rather than a corporation. You can do something similar with companies that set out to do exactly that. They may have similar issues in terms of the security of their charge. And one of the reasons that this is an issue for lenders in the traditional way is because they've got to deem that a property is habitable. That's first and foremost. But secondary to that is they want to make sure that they'll get their money back. So when it comes to sell a property that's got structural issues and they've got a security over it, it's one of the pops up as a red flag. There's also crowdfunding. You can look at the crowdfunding route. There are companies out there where you can crowdfund and people can have securities, and again, similar to raising an investment. But on the whole, it's a really smart property, tons of potential, good location, good for riding,